Yeah, guys, are you hearing me? Yeah, Samba. Can somebody type in the comments if you are hearing me, please?
Statistics show that, on average, over a 10-year rolling period, 10% of mutual funds outperform the S&P 500.
How do you then measure your own success as a CIO? Is that through the performance or is it something else?
Oh, there's a variety of measures. We measure our portfolio against peer groups, It's not so easy in wealth management, In asset management, products are categorized by asset classes, strategies, etc. So they compare directly against against each other. In wealth management, you have some client-specific requirements. You have a variety of, we mentioned in the previous edition, suitability, tax angle, etc. So it's a bit different. But we do have some solutions where we're comparing apples with apples. For instance, the GBR strategy funds are directly comparable with their peers, implemented in similar fund formats, UCITS, which are all subject
Yeah, Samba, are you hearing me?
and tax and suitability.
I've sent you a request.
Therefore, we have some data points where we can measure in a fair and objective manner your investment track record relative to peers. It's easier for us, of course, in pure building blocks when we manage equities, when we manage fixed income, for instance, in the JB funds or in funds. There we have a very objective, undisputable performance comparisons.
So in the last episode we talked about your strategic asset allocation, your tactical asset allocation. We're talking about, performance today. Can you hedge to protect that performance?
No, we don't protect performance.
Yeah, Samba Jada, can you check your invitation, please? I've invited you already.
It's the full market regime approach. We hedge risk in portfolio to various degrees if we have that evidence. If we don't, we stay the course along our strategic allocation strategy, and we focus on managing the respective asset classes and, very critical, extremely strong portfolio construction. And I'd like to say a word about this. The sum of the parts is more important than the individual parts in a portfolio. If we look at the track record, and there have been some empirical studies on the topic. For instance, let's take probably one of the most competitive markets, one of the benchmarks that is the hardest to match or beat with an active investment approach. Obviously, U.S. large cap equities, best illustrated by the S&P 500 index. Statistics show that, on average, over a 10-year rolling period, 10% of mutual funds outperform the S&P 500 one out of 10. This is important because, by the way, the next 10-year period is over 10%, but not the same. And the next period is over 10%, but not the period that retired. We don't know if there will be stability in the how that performance was played. Analyze the profit and loss associated is that the hit ratio, those ratio, is close to 50%. Meaning, essentially,
Okay, let me try again.
50%, right? 50%. So people will then ask, how come they did the market being right only 50% of the time? Yeah, they did the market because they have asymmetry in their return. In other words, the winning trade win more than the losing trade lose. And it is that asymmetry that creates the excess return over time.
Yeah, Samba, I've sent you the invitation because it's indicating here that I did send you invitation. Okay, I've sent you now. By Samba to join the live. Hi, Samba.
Alaikum salam.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm fine. How is my visibility?
Yeah, Alhamdulillah,
Good. Are you seeing me?
I'm not seeing you. I'm hearing you, but I'm not seeing you.
then the video emitters. If how about now?
Let me see. I'm still not seeing you, Samba.
Don't know why.
Yeah,
No.
I don't know. Technology. Okay, let me. Okay, Samba, let me remove you and and you request again. Let me see if I can add you again. Okay. Okay. Yeah, hi Samba.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm still not seeing you anywhere, but I'm hearing you.
That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, anyway, we could start, maybe it's technology.
Okay. No
Yeah. Okay, Samba, just regarding, our conversation, on the telephone.
Okay.
Yeah, just to the viewers, my name is Usman Jallo, a Gambian, physically disabled person, confined in a wheelchair. I've been on the wheelchair for more than 30 years. Currently residing in Manchester. Oh, Samba, somebody's making noise there.
I'm sorry. Let me just get that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Let me just.
Yeah, hello, my brother, Keba Langsane. How are you? Thank you for joining us. Today, the purpose of doing this live program is about disability issues in the Gambia. I, Usman Jallo, as I said, a physically disabled person confined in a wheelchair. I'm from the Gambia, and I'm currently residing in Manchester. I feel that disability, when we talk about disability issues in the Gambia, there are lots to talk about. Living in the United Kingdom, seeing how disabled people, are cared, how disabled people have access, how disabled people have been recognized, that give me the courage, to come here to talk about disabilities, because I feel that being a disabled person, it's high time we stop hiding away. Because when we hide away, people will not understand our issues. And I think we are the best people to come here and start discussing about our issues so that the general public can also know our issues. And today, that's one of the topics we'll be talking about. Last week, we started this live broadcast where we talk about the Person with Disability Act in the Gambia. One of my colleagues, Mr. Ansumana Sano, unfortunately this week he will not be able to participate due to his stepmom who passed away. May her soul rest in peace. But hopefully we can allow next week, he will be with us. Ansumana, my prayers with you and your family. We pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give your mom Jannah, and then pray for you and your family to have good health and happiness. So thank you, Ansumana Sano. Yes, Samba, as I was talking about, the issue of coming here today is about to talk about disability issues in the Gambia.
Okay.
Samba Jaite, I know you for a long time. You were one time my student at the School for the Blind. And I could remember I even used to go to your parents' home, because you were one of my best students, when I was teaching at school for the blind. And I've seen recently, you've grown, Samba. You know, you are a big boy now. I've seen you, on Facebook, doing other activities in the Gambia, which is very, very good. Because, as I said, when we talk about disability issues, Samba, we are the best people, to narrate, to tell our stories. We are the best people to tell our stories. Because I, Usman Jallo, I sit on a wheelchair, so I can tell people, what is about sitting on a wheelchair. What are some of the problems, the challenges that I am facing for sitting on a wheelchair? But I can also tell people that I, Usman Jallo, sitting on a wheelchair, what are some of the things that I can do also, so that for people to know that, some of my strengths and weakness. So, Samba, there, I come back to you. And as I was saying, you've grown so big now. Samba, first of all, I would like you to introduce yourself.
Okay, thank you so very much, Mr. Jallo. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. I go by the name Samba Jete. I am a visual impaired. Started my schooling from Govi, the school for the visual impaired. Then rose through the protocol from secondary school to senior secondary school, and then to the Gambia College to be a trained person. But all this, I have always been an advocate for the rights of persons with disabilities since I was young, because most of the time I always happen to be the only visual impaired in a class. So going through the challenges, through the hurdles, the hardship, not having enough notes, sometimes not having teachers that understand your condition, taught me a great lesson to be a very strong activist for the rights of persons with disabilities. The whole issue of activism started when I was at the Gambia College, where I used to gather my fellow visual impaired, and then even people who are not with disabilities, I can say, my fellow students, to gather them at a class, talk to them about the rights of persons with disabilities, and then how best they were able to help persons with disabilities in case they are found in their respective classrooms. I hope audible.
Yes, I'm hearing this, Samba.
Okay, because I realized that the Gambia College is an institution where teachers are trained to be teachers. And these teachers in turn will be sent to different parts of the Gambia.
Yes.
So I realized talking to these people will really help to drive my message home. It really helps to change the lives of many people. So I normally gather them, tell them about the life of a person with disabilities, and then how best they can help. So from there, I started going to radio programs, advocating on the rights of persons with disabilities. And then luckily in 2013, I got the opportunity to go to South Africa for a leadership program. I also learned a lot about advocacy and then about being a leader. When I came back, it becomes a big person. I was at the school for the visual impaired, posted as a teacher, of which I did a lot of impact because I trained my fellow visual impaired on how to use smartphone. Out of 100% of visual impaired that use smartphones, I can say 80 or 90% of them were taught by myself. I teach students on how to use the computer with these 60 softwares. I have the NVIDIA, the JAWS, and then the like. I also help to build the self-esteem of students, my fellow visual impaired students, because I know the hurdles that are waiting them. So they need to be strong. They need to believe in themselves to be able to conquer, to be able to go through all the obstacles. From there, I was also doing that. I realized also I also have fellow visual impaired who are also teachers and find it very difficult to access notes. Because in the Gambia, these textbooks are all in print format. So with the help of a Braille embosser, I try to emboss these books in a Braille format for my fellow visual impaired teachers who in turn use it to teach their classrooms.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I will use my weekend, my leisure time. In fact, I'll be at the machine making notes for fellow teachers up late in the evening. Then I will go home. So from there, I realized these are things that will really help because there are many obstacles in the Gambia, in Africa in general. The people don't care much about persons with disabilities. So coming 2021, luckily I applied for the Mandela Washington Fellowship and I was really fortunate to be part of it. That's when I had the opportunity of travel to the United States. And then I spent some time in the United States. I was in DC. I visited Mississippi, School for the Blind in Mississippi. I went to different places, different states. After the rigorous training and then all the things I learned, when I came back, I said, no, I want to just keep this to myself. Let me have a foundation that's going to advocate for the rights of persons with disabilities. Of course, I have been advocating myself as a self-advocate, but I believe two heads are better than one. Just me alone will be difficult, but let me have a group of people who are passionate about persons with disabilities, coming together with them to advocate for rights of persons with disabilities.
Yeah.
This foundation consists of persons with and without disabilities. It's a charitable foundation at the moment. Actually, and then when I was in the United States, I saw something very important, which is really something very unique that we are doing in the Gambia. That's training people as human guides. These are people who will be trained on how to guide a person with disability, most especially the visually impaired and then people with mobility issues. So when I came back, I started doing that. I train our volunteers. Our foundation, normally we advocate on the rights of persons with disabilities through the social media and also through community outreach. We also train people as human guides. I think we organize two big trainings where we train people, our volunteers and even other people on how to guide persons with disabilities in terms they are found in society.
Yeah.
We are envisioning a time whereby we'll also be, if we have enough volunteers, we want to make sure that we even deploy our volunteers in programs, ceremonies, so that they will also take care of persons with disabilities. Because you realize events like the Independence Celebration or other big events, people don't have time for persons with disabilities.
Yeah.
So these volunteers will be there to make sure they take care of persons with disabilities, help them in their movement. If they need something else, they will do it for them.
Yes.
In a nutshell, just me.
Oh, yes, Samba, thank you so much, for giving a brief description about you, and about what you are doing, Mr. Samba Jaide. As I was telling the viewers, Mr. Samba Jaide was one time, our students in School for the Blind. Mr. Samba Jaide, as he said, he's finished his schooling, from there he went to the college, and from the college, I think now he's at the university. He also has been to, the USA, to do some study. Mr. Samba Jaide himself is a visually impaired person. Samba, I know you have spoke a lot, about yourself, disability issues, and things that are surrounding disabled people, in the Gambia, and some of the advocating that you've been doing, which is very, very good. But as I said earlier, we are here to tell people who are we, because if we don't tell people, our disabilities, then people will not understand us. Because sometimes you see, like as a disabled person, I'm on a wheelchair. So now, sometimes even in the Gambia, you see people will just come and start wanting to push you or wheel you or whatsoever, And whilst maybe you don't need, them to wheel you. You understand? Huh? But if people understand your strengths, and your weakness, they will be able to understand what support they can give you and at what particular times, they can support it. You understand? Hello, Samba. Oh, Samba, you've dropped off. Let me add you again. Okay, Samba, are you back?
Yes, I'm back. Thank you.
Oh yeah. So what I was saying is about like us talking about ourselves. And Frank Samba, you are doing very well in the Gambia. But Samba,
Thank
when we
you.
talk about disability in the Gambia, you've been to USA. Now, can you tell me some of the differences, in terms of disability wise, some of the things that you can get in USA and in the Gambia? What are the differences? What are some of the facilities that they've provided for disabled people in USA, which you are not seeing in the Gambia?
Well, Mr. Jallo, I think the difference is just like, if I may say, like day and night. They are very, very, very different. In the United States, I realize definitely positive disabilities are most taken care of. As I said, one of the things I first learned was this human guide, to assign with a guide.
Yeah. Hello, you're not
Coming in the morning.
Yeah, I think your
Hello,
connection. Yeah, you are back now.
am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, what I was saying is one of the things I learned when I first arrived in the United States was I was provided with a human guide.
Yes.
Someone that will be guiding me throughout in the morning, taking care of my needs, helping me to make sure that there is no difficulty in movement, and also giving me a basic orientation mobility training. I think these are things that we have in the Gambia. In the Gambia, things are just very tough. People care less. I realize in the Gambia, it is like, if it doesn't happen to you, you care less. People don't want to know more about people are passive disabilities. It's really in the Gambia where you find people telling you that I want to help you, but I don't know how to help you, because they don't want to know how you help them. The accessibility part of it in the Gambia, accessibility is a big problem. Like in the United States, I realized even in their hotel rooms, they are braille. In their elevators, or we call lifters, it has speech.
Yes.
Yeah, it has speech. It talks first floor, second floor. Their rooms, they all have braille tactiles. Room 1, room 2. All these things are very accessible, that a person with disability, visually impaired, being person with mobility problem won't have any issues.
Right.
But these are things that are very lacking in the Gambia. You don't have such things. In fact, before talking about tactiles, the access to the environment, in fact, is a problem. Rooms are not very accessible. Offices are upstairs sometimes, no ramps. There are no, these are very inaccessible. So there are very, very big gaps between the United States and the Gambia.
Yeah. Mr. Jada, thank you so much, for to mention some of the differences. Yes. For me, as I said, I always keep repeating it. I can't live in the Gambia. That's true. That's my honest truth. Because in a wheelchair user, I need a ramp. I need that access. And if I don't have that access, I can get to where I want to go. As I said, I think just from here, outside the house, the pavement, the road, then from there going to, to a public service, transport, where even the boats, they got ramps. Not like Gambia, where, I have to get into the car, or people have to listen to get into the car, and then they fold my wheelchair and put it what they call carrier. No, it's not like that. So, as you said, there are big, big differences, in terms of disability support, in the Gambia and in the West. Yes. So these are some of the problems. Welcome, guys. Latin citizens. Welcome, Jongoma Fatu. Today our role here, what we're talking about, is disability issues in the Gambia. Anybody who have anything to participate or to contribute, you are highly welcome. Just put a request, and then I will accept it, and then you can just speak, some of the issues that we are talking about. Yeah. So it's the same thing. Visually impaired, as you said here, when we have lift, if it is there, the tactiles, everything there, and then the voice also is there, because these are some of the things that can help you as a visually impaired person, to move from your house to anywhere you want to go. But how many offices in the Gambia do we have? Do they have lifts? I think you can count them. It's just few. Even if they have lifts, they don't have what we're talking about here. So you see, and why is it that this is not happening in the Gambia? It's because of it's our politicians, the government. They don't care about us, because if they care about us, what they are doing, they will think about us. Because most of us, I always said, most of the government buildings, they don't have access. Not to talk about, a lift. Look, we know that a lift, is a little bit costly. But the thing is that, there are many ways, that they could improvise. And most of these projects, as I said, they have money that they put there, for things like that. Because if you're building a building from a donor or from funding, if you tell them to do it, they will definitely do that. And even like visual impaired, on our road pavement, there are some design that they do. When you come there as a visually impaired, you will know this is where you need to go. This is where you need to pass through. And that's very important. So these are some of the issues people with disability are facing in the Gambia. And I think somewhere where you are now at the moment, the rainy season, you are facing lots of difficulties. Going from your home to going to work. Secondly, you talk about a guide. In the UK here is the same thing. If you are a visually impaired person, you understand. You get a guide. You get somebody who will guide you, who will support you. The government, help you. They give you even a personal care, to support you. Why is it that, our governments are not doing that? Why is it that our politicians are not supporting us? These are some of the issues. I think it's time, we start talking. It's time, because we are part of, the country. We are part of the nation building. Someone now today, you were working, you were once a teacher. When you were working, you were paying tax. And when you pay tax, that goes to the government. That's the money that, they pay to people who work for the government. But you had to be here even for them to talk about us. And that is very, very bad. That is something that we need to change. And how these things can change is for us to come here, and start talking about it. Yeah. So you see, somebody at the university, what are some of the issues that you are facing?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jalo. I am still paying tax. I'm still paying tax because I'm still on the government payroll. I'm just on a study leave. I'm still paying tax. The concept is maybe tell people in the US, other countries, that they tell you, no, this country, there's a big gap, those people are already developed countries. But no, I deny. I totally say no to it, because it starts from the concept. Our own attitude. It starts from the attitude. There are things that could be accessed in the Gambia, that could be successful in the Gambia if we change our attitudes. Even vehicles, Mr. Jallo, even transportation, you find out still now. You still find out drivers that will insist on stopping for someone with a wheelchair. But they tell you that I don't have a carrier, my boot cannot open, you will waste my time. That is happening in the country. You still have visual impaired not been given access to transportation. You look at the University of the Gambia, as you just asked, there is a complex in Faraba, a newly established complex in Faraba, but I can tell you there's no ramp. Which means if you have a student with a wheelchair, the student can only access the classes downstairs. And then the saddest thing is all the offices of the lecturers are upstairs. Which means if you need to see a lecturer, the lecturer have to come down to meet you. And then other students will go to their offices, explain to them their problems, and stuff. But no, on a wheelchair, you can go there. It's a big challenge that persons with disability are facing. You realize even in our transport system, still now people are hustling with persons with disabilities. There's no privilege given for persons with disabilities. It's our challenges that we are facing. You find out that you find out sometimes people call for consultation workshops. They are calling for training for persons with disabilities, and then The irony becomes it used to be upstairs, a hall be upstairs. So how do you expect someone in a wheelchair or in a wheelchair to go upstairs? The only thing is you need to be carried on top, and which is a discrimination I can say. You still now have workshops. They say they are talking about passive disabilities, and all the things are in print format. How can a visual impaired get access to that? In our education system, we still have diagrams as compulsory questions. That visual impaired totally fail, not because they are stupid, but because they cannot see the diagram, they cannot draw, they cannot label the diagrams. Just recently, I read an article from one deaf and hard of hearing in the Gambia. She was complaining that English, which you have to listen and then answer questions. So the deaf people have to feel that thing simply because they cannot hear. All these things can be changed in the Gambia.
Yes, Samba, you are very, very right of what you are talking about. As I say, you talk about the when you talk about the you just hit it, on me, definitely, because being a wheelchair, I know some of the difficulties I used to encounter, when I want to go to work or school. It was very difficult. In fact, that's to go to Amede, to a body where I would have to, be using a public transport every day. So because it is very, very difficult, and the Gambia University, is a state institution, and it's a place which that it should be inclusive for everybody. It shouldn't be only for the able people. If an able person, could access that place, a disabled person also should be able to access that place. But these are some of the issues which that people are keeping quiet and they are not addressing them. And I think it's not fair. It is not fair because these are some of the things. Who knows? Somebody today, you are a very brilliant individual. You understand? Tomorrow, you can become a politician. Tomorrow, somebody, you can be the president of the country. So that is very, very important. Oh, somebody, I think you've gone back. You've gone again. Let me try and bring you back. Yes, thank you, Sister Jongo Mafatu, and thank you, Lamin. And Samba Jet, I think you must have gone. I'm trying to send you again. Okay, welcome back, Samba.
Hello.
I say welcome back.
Thank you. It was a network.
Yes, I know. The network is very bad, Yes, so Samba, all what we're talking about now, some of the challenges that you are facing, like apart from, like you talk about, mobility wise, what support also do you get, from, the Gambia, because in terms of social support, in terms of health support, do you get it as a disabled person? Because I know that for me, as a disabled person, here the government, will support me in terms of social support and health support. You understand? Even, if I need a doctor here, if there is a need for them to support me, they will support me. So what are some of the, because, in the Passing with Disability Act, it says that disabled people should have access to education, should have access to, equal access to public building or whatsoever. Disabled people also should have equal access to health. Now, as a disabled person, if you go to the hospital, do you feel that you've been treated this equally as an able person? Oh, it's gone again, Let me bring you back. Yeah, guys, sorry, the network. Yes. I think you went off again.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Yeah. You talk about the Disability Act.
Yes.
In the Gambia, there is one funny thing. We are good at making policies, but the implementation becomes the problem.
Thank you.
See, now this act is not implemented as a law in the Gambia. Not just the act, but I can tell you for free, there is no passive disability in the parliament of today. Someone representing passive disability is not in the National Assembly. And then you something that I talked about, because the president had the right to nominate up to 5 people in the National Assembly. There is none that is standing for passive disabilities. So that tells you that there is a big gap. In the hospital, you just go ask a normal person. Passive disability, you use the same thing, unless if you have people that are understanding you. But you know they are discriminated. I have a friend who went to the hospital with a guide or someone that was helping. Instead of the doctor talking to him, he was talking to the guide. What's his name? What's wrong with him? That becomes a total discrimination.
It is, yes.
So access is a problem. Still now, there are no policies, strong policies that are safeguarding the rights of persons with disability. This act is just there, and it was enacted during Antinda Yasin Seka's time when he was there as a MP. But as you speak now, see, it's no more there. There's no person standing to defend that bill or that act, which means it's not implemented. It's just there as a decoration, I can say, as a policy, but it's not implemented. There is no law. There's nothing. You can't charge anyone with that act.
Yeah.
To the police or because it's still implemented as a full law. So still now there are just the same challenges that people with disability are facing in the country. Still now we are discriminating seriously. There are no policies that will say if you discriminate this one, you'll be taken to court or taken to police. Or this thing are not happening in the Gambia. This is why I believe we all as a nation should stand towards it. But the government has a very big role in that. They are the ones that could make policy, they are the ones that could implement laws. So implement laws that will safeguard the rights of persons with disabilities, and then I think everything will be easier.
Yeah, I think Samba, you know what? It's the same thing. Last week also, Mr. Ansumana Sano was here. He said the same thing, you know. It's more like, you know, what you said from word to word, you know. Because the thing is that, you know, that has been signed since, is it 2023? It has been signed since 2023, but nothing is being done. No implementation. And that's very sad. Because, you know, as I told Ansumana last time, you know, the amount of money that they spend on that disability bill, you know, even for the MP, the amount of money that they spend, you know, just to go and attend, you know, that disability bill, you know, the PATMs or whatsoever, it's a lot. So if that law is not being implemented, it means that, you know, it's wasting. It's a waste of money. And I think, you know, I'm urging, you know, everybody, you know, in the Gambia, look, this is very, very important to us as people with disabilities. It's very, very important to us because without those laws, you understand, you know, without those implementation, you know, still now people will discriminate, you know, disabled people. Still now people will be building places where there is no access. Still now that disabled child is going to suffer in the street, is going to suffer in the community, is going to suffer in the classroom, anywhere, you know, where it's a public garden, the disabled people, you know, still now they will suffer. And I think it's high time, you know, the government, the politician, you know, the people, the society, people, everybody, you know, to come, you know, join hands so that we can implement this law, because this law is very, very important. Without it, you know, this disability issues, you know, is still going to be, you know, the same issue, because many people are buildings. They are buildings. How many schools got ramps? How many schools got ramps? You know, even the university today, if that law was, you know, at least implemented, you know, people will not be struggling, you know, at the university. And I know that there are a lot of disabled people who want to go to, you know, to the university, but they cannot go. They cannot go because, you know, if I'm a wheelchair user and the classroom is upstairs, you know, how will I be able to go up? So these are some of the issues, you know, that people need to listen to us. You know, you need to
definitely.
You know, and then so that, you know, at least for us also we can be independent, because Samba, that's all what we want. You want to be independent.
Yeah, definitely. You realize in the university, I used to be there with a coach on a wheelchair, but every time to board the buses, he has to crawl and get inside the bus. The bus, there is no ramp on the bus. And then whatsoever, if he is to attend a class, though the class will be brought down, they will change the venue down, but the whole university will know that, oh, this class is down because of so and so. So these are all discriminations that I believe are things that shouldn't be done.
Yeah, and that's right. Because for me, I feel very embarrassed, you know, because of me, they're bringing the classroom down. You know, they don't do that, you know, in here, you know, in the United Kingdom here. Because here, they always try to improvise, you know, they always try to make it accessible for you. Because, you know, like, you will not go to a school here in the UK, which you know that, you know, is not accessible for a disabled person. Even if it is not accessible, they'll make sure that the place is accessible, because that's give you the independency. As a disabled person, you feel that like you are independent, you can do things, but you don't want to be all the time people have to help you. All the time people have to help you, people have to lift you, people have to feel sorry for you. Sometimes it's just I don't understand it. And I think it's high time, like especially some of my fellow people, who've been, in the United Kingdom, in the Europe, and so they've seen some of the, the big things, like that's disabled people get here, the big support, that disabled people, are given here. Why can't you implement the same thing, at home? I know that, we cannot get that, 100% access, but at least, there is always an improvement. This is something that we could be building slowly. But since 1965 we got our independence, still now in terms of disability, Gambia is still now at the same place, if it is not worse. And with this bill that is lying down there, what is the benefit? There is no benefit of writing all these things, blah 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 blah, and the next thing what the bill is just it's just lying down there. And I think they should be very serious about us. They should be very serious about us. And I'm urging everybody, they should, because if you go to our communities, every day, as a disabled person, you see people discriminating you. If it is not the people, the law is against you, is discriminating you. Because if you see people are discriminating you, because the law is not there. Because if somebody discriminating me today, if I take them to the law, the police, they don't have anything to act on. They don't have the law, because the law is there, but it's not been implemented. So these are some of the issues, somebody. These are some of the issues, that which that like disabled organizations in Gambia should come out. They should come out, and so that they will talk, so that the government and the public will hear our voices, because our voices are very, very important to us. It might not be important to you, you understand, but for me, it is important to us, we the disabled people, because we know that some of the challenges, some of the difficulties that we are facing, every day. Even when you go home, you're facing the same challenges. When you go out, the same thing. This is something which is stopping us from where we want to be. I think these 2020s, that's why I'm urging people, especially our parents, our sisters, our communities, because if we are supported, it goes back to our community. We support our communities. Somebody today, you are going to the university. When you get a big job, where do you normally take your money? You take it to your family and your surrounding, your neighbor. You take it to your village or your town. You understand? And it's not only you or your family who is going to benefit from those things. Even the people surrounding you, they will also benefit from it. So that's why it's always important, to educate a disabled child, to give them the support. Because if you are not supported today as someone from your family or whatsoever, you would have been in the street. How many people of disability, who are in the street today in the Gambia? At the moment, if you go to Serekunda Market or anywhere, you find lots of people with disability, because they don't have the opportunity. Maybe for us, we are lucky, we've been to school. But some of them, because of the communities where they are from, because of the stigma, that's why, they are not able to go to school. That's why their parents, said that, like some of the parents will say that it's better to educate an able child, than, to take a disabled child, which is not fair. So these are some of the issues, Good. So Samba, right now, what are you studying at the University of the Gambia?
Okay, thank you so very much, Mr. Jaro. Your words are so touching. Definitely, I can relate to all that you are talking about. Just last Saturday, my foundation commemorated the International Deaf Awareness Day, like the International Sign Language Day.
Yeah.
And the part of things that were discussed was even deaf people that were there, they complained that even during elections, after elections, they don't normally know the results because there's no interpreter on the TV to tell them that so and so have how many votes. At the end, they have to depend on people to know who won, which is a big discrimination.
It
You
is.
realize we don't have interpreters in the police, and there are interpreters at the hospitals to interpret what they want. If they are sick now, sometimes it becomes difficult for them to communicate with the doctors because there are not much interpreters. The TV is just like watching pictures, they said. There's no interpreter, silent interpreter at the TV to tell them this is the news. Just a matter of watching pictures for them because they can't hear. These are all things that my foundation is working towards advocating, but still now we don't have any support. I can tell you, we dip our hands in our pocket to fund some of these activities that we are doing. At the moment, I'm studying the human resource management and the English language. Under the scholarship, I'm on scholarship. Still now, my salary is following. It means I'm still paying tax to the government.
Yeah.
I think the government could still do something about all these things. Like you still have sign language issues. At least let our national televisions have sign language interpreters during news hours, at least.
Yeah.
For people who have never had a feeling to also know what's happening in the country. But none is happening. You realize there are many obstacles that on a daily basis. Just last time I was reading, I do also read about these things. Like a parent was complaining about the challenges that her child was facing in the school as a person with disability. And then one of her statements really went so deep into me. She said, having a person with disability just like being hit with poverty. I was, oh my God, it's a very hard word. It means because there's no support. There's no support. So you having that kind of person with no support, you struggle a lot to take care of him or her. So she said, just like being hit with poverty. So you see, all things are things that the government and other people could step in to make sure that life becomes easier. Just last 2 weeks, a visual impaired was hit on traffic by a car. As I speaking to you, he is still at the hospital admitted. He got a broken leg. Because we don't even have enough white canes to help distribute to persons with visual impairment. These are things that people could step into, at least help, provide these resources and save someone's life, I can say.
Yeah, I think, Samba, all what you are talking about is true. These are so much, because I know many parents, feel that same way, because they think that, they wish they don't have a disabled child because of the stigma. Because you have a child, the child cannot have the access, the child cannot have the support. You feel that, look, everything is, it's all about discriminating towards you, which is very, very sad, for somebody as a parent, as a mother, how hard it is, to get pregnant, and then you have a child. Still now, people are discriminating about your child. That's very sad. You can see only those things, in a country, like in the Gambia and other places, because here, every child is equal. Every child is equal, and every child is very, very important. So I'm very, very sorry to hear about that story, Samba. But you're doing very well, Samba. I know, it's very tough. People sometimes don't listen to us, but we have to be talking. Hopefully, when we keep talking more and more, hopefully, let's say in the next, 10 years, who knows, maybe the government will be doing more, the people, the society, and every individual will be participating more towards the life of the disabled child. And I think that is very, very important. The most important thing for us is just to keep talking, because if we keep quiet, it means that, the message will not be out there. So we have to be talking, telling them, that this is us, this is how we are, this is what we can do, and this is some of the things that we are facing. So, so that if they want to come and help us, and they will be able to help us. Samba Jaide, thank you so much, for today. I know this is the beginning of the conversation. There are a lot of things, and I encourage you, you and your foundation, just to keep working so hard. One day is going to be better, as long as, we don't give up, as long as we don't just fold our hands, and leave everything to them, one day, it's going to be better for us, Thank you so much, Hopefully tomorrow also I'll be back, Samba, where we'll be talking more about your foundation. So as I said today, it's just a brief introduction. Who is Samba Jaide? Some of the challenges and some of the things, that you are facing in the Gambia. And I'm glad, you are doing very well. That up to the extent of having a foundation, that is brilliant, Samba. Being a visually impaired person, I know, when you were a student, some of the difficulties that you used to face. And, and secondly, you went up to the Gambia College, you finished there, you are teaching as a visually impaired person, so that's a role model. These are some of the things I used to say in the Gambia. That's why I went to blind school, because when I was at the college and I said I want to become a role model. To become a role model is to prove, if I go to a disabled schools, to show them that because I'm a wheelchair user, that doesn't mean, I can't do anything, So that's why I went, to the school for the blind, to be a role model. And I can see that, you are a role model, Samba. You are a role model, today at the university, people will be seeing you, or somebody is visually impaired, but you're doing great, and that is very, very important. And we have to show it to the people. We have to show them, what we are capable of, what we can do. Because if not, they will not know, what we are capable of, or they will not be able to come and support us, if we need the support. Thank you so much, Samba. Tomorrow also I'll be back, and I will let you know when I'm back. So I'm hoping, every weekend I'll be doing these things, and I'm also urging my fellow people, Gambians, whether you are in the Gambia, you are in the diaspora, anywhere you are, this platform is here for everybody. We are not here to discriminate. We are not saying that, because we are disabled people, so it's only going to be a disabled platform. I know since we started this thing, most of the people who talk about, who came here, they are people with disability. I want our fellow able people also to come and join us, because we want to hear your voices. We want to hear. I know that they are very supportive. Gambian, they support us, they help us, they empathize us, they sympathize us, but I want them to come and show that to us, so that we have a conversation, because this is about a dialogue. It's about a nation building. Once we all talking, then we will come to a conclusion where we will be supporting each other. Thank you so much, Samba, and I will speak to you soon. And I'm so grateful that you come to this platform today. Hopefully, one day, the people there, not people through this chat or conversation, somebody is there who is hearing what you are doing. They will come and support you. And I'm sure, one day, you will get that support. And for me also, hopefully, I'm going to collaborate with your foundation, just see what we could help. Sometimes if it is not about money, but maybe there are some knowledge I have or something that I know I can be able to, help you. Thank you, Samba. If you have anything to say, for 2 or 3 minutes, then you are welcome, Samba.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and I am really grateful that you have such a platform to discuss about issues facing persons with disabilities, and as well to also connect persons without disabilities to work together with us, because we alone can't do it. We have to collaborate with them to make sure we achieve our goals. So I'm really grateful that you have such a platform, and I'm also so grateful that you having me there. So thank you so very much, and then I'm grateful.
Okay, Samba, bye-bye. Thank you. I'll speak to you soon.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah. I'm batting Gambian, Ntelem Usman Diallo, comme nola diamo be jan wala mo lanjur la kuo, lanjur ta kuo Gambia, lanjur ka bata menna. So nyim platform o del ngamol be invite. For a lanjur tale for a man lanjuro iman lanjuro soto ite fana isi nano jang ika understand isi la diamo ika lanjutol inyante ke support nyame inyante ke mako nyame Gambia. So wala mun nim platform ote yo be ngamen soto no ja wala mu samba jaite mun na dindingoti no brembe no Gambia ate fana ay lanjutol soto ay lanjutel soto kanya ala nyale buka jebake. But Samba Jaita sang a karantale a pareta, biri a pareta sang, abenun karandinola, asang abe university at fana foundation also. So hopefully in dolfana benala jang, every weekend sang, ngana ngadia montola, lanjutola kuo, katung, nga feel Gambia mol buka diamo lanju to la kola andon ndol lanju to wala nyantaga ko start ka diamo start ka diamo yele pour ndol be ngana nga diamo lanju to kola yo albarka bake samo fanan be murla jang ka diamo nyito nyink every weekend o sang lokun ida sibitu lungo o dimas lungo ndol benna la jambe mo nat la jang fo amari ay lanjur to soto fo amal lanjur soto bari mo meyal ko abena la jang ay diamu lanjur to la kola katon lanjur to la kol akumada bake lanjur tol akumada bake because nin tol lanjur tol nara jan diamu ta tol la sulo kaji abu mol mako la bake yo albarka bake ayo albarka bake sister Jongoma Fatu barka bake Lamin Cisse and all the other viewers me aloko albe jubero la jang albarka bake yo sama fanambe murla le momo lafta ka comment ngalbe imba ñi manke landu to la platform dron hani ñi mu platform me aloko ndol belem gambia no la belem ndemu landu rori munan nga ñem platform o start wala mu kadiamu ndola landu to la kola pour Gambia no yala ndola lanju to la sulo ndola lanju to la problem o me ala kon ka face Gambia kono ndobe yala at the moment sama be kerine hani mo me ala ko ay puso soto problem abuka tamono nde munana be diamo la jam wala ku me ala ko boy ngawo bata men soto bir ben so kono alhamdulillah sambe jang sambu ko bata soto bari mo jamal be so kono me ala ko e kawo bata soto so andum fonga diamu ñin diamu hopefully ñin diamu ta molbe mol la moy la ñin la moy ta mol e kaja binala yana woy e mol makoy kena ye mol makoy yo albarka bake fo sama thank you so much thank you for watching okay bye